Hey everyone, this is Bobo from the Mars server. I'm here to do a video on the Uladh dungeon revamp event, as well as what has been revamped in dungeons in Mabinogi right now. So there's quite a bit to cover, so let's go ahead and get started. To start this event, you guys are going to have to talk to Even with the new quest that you'll obtain in your quest log. Basically, she's gonna be like, "What's up?" and you're gonna be like, "Yeah, I gotta talk to you for this quest," and then she's gonna direct you to some other people that's located to the west of Dunbarton's Moongate, and this new location is called the Polnabrone Rock. After you're done talking with these NPCs, you're gonna have to go back to Even, in which she's gonna be like, no, you don't have to talk to me, you're gonna have to talk to Area. Area is then gonna ask you to give her 10 pieces of paper so she can transcribe a book for you. You can easily obtain them from Walter or from your butler. Once you get the book, you can return back to the researcher and start this daily dungeon quest. Basically, for this dungeon event, you have to do a maximum of 5 dungeons that are basic level. Now, for this one, when you talk to the NPC, you get to choose which dungeon you want to do. Now, I don't really suggest you guys do the harder difficulty ones unless you want the EXP. If you guys look at the quest, regardless if you do a hard difficulty dungeon or even an easy difficulty dungeon, you will always get the same amount of scouting reports. If you guys chose the wrong dungeon and you want to change it to an easier dungeon, you can always talk to the researcher and he'll be like, "Sure thing," and then you'll be like, "Yeah." Basically, the difference between the two dungeons, the harder and easier dungeon, is just the amount of EXP that you guys will get. Now, before you guys start looking for passes, if you talk to the researcher, he actually sells passes to you guys, so you don't have to go out of your way to find the basic passes you need. He also sells wings that go straight to the Polnabrone Rock, so you can always use it right after you finish a dungeon. And yes, the Polnabrone Rock. I like to call it the P-Rock because I can never figure out if I'm pronouncing it correctly or not. Basically, the Polnabrone Rock acts like a moon gate and teleports you to any dungeon that's located in Uladh. Now, why would I use this instead of Moongate? Well, basically, the rock lets you transport all of your party members straight to the dungeon lobby, so it's kind of one less step for you guys, right? Alright, so now I'm gonna show you guys what has been revamped in dungeons. First thing that's kind of noticeable is it now shows on the right side what floor you're on and how many floors is left. So it's no more gonna be that thing where it's like, "Dude, what floor are we on, man? Dude, I don't know what floor we're on. Are we on the last floor? Dude, I don't know how many floors we have left." You're not gonna have that situation anymore. Basically, it now shows what floor you guys are on, so no more confusion, no more figuring out how many floors a dungeon is. But the most noticeable thing you guys probably see is the fact that dungeon keys now shine, like really shine. There's no way that someone can hide the fact that they have the key now, or even miss picking up the keys. So that's a really nice feature I think that they added on. Another feature that they've added is that all dead ends now have dead end chests. Now these dead end chests can come with gold, some nicer pots, I'm gonna emphasize on nicer, and even some repair kits as well. Another thing that they've changed is the fact that Even is even more useless now. She no longer sells those quest scrolls in which you trade in former scrolls. So now there's a board next to the Polnabrone Rock where you can just obtain the quest scroll here. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but these were pretty much useless. Not too many people did these former scroll collecting thing. But if you look carefully, the gold reward for this is now been a little bit different. Still kind of low, but it's still a little bit better than before. Now, you can also search for what scroll you want on the top, so it's a kind of a nice little board feature here for you guys. A lot easier to search for which mob has more gold's worth versus which doesn't. In the end, I still don't think I will be using this board for making some gold, but it's here if you guys are wondering where the scrolls are at. Another thing that they've added is the fact that dungeons now allow you to go back into the dungeon if you, for some odd reason, disconnect from the game. Now, before they didn't have that, and then people would QQ and be like, "No, all my progress, you can't go back." But now you can. If you disconnect from the game and you log back into your character, it's basically just gonna prompt you and say like, hey, yeah, I know you were in that dungeon for a really long time earlier, do you want to go back? And I'm pretty sure you're gonna be like, yeah, I've been in there for like an hour, I do want to go back. Now, just keep in mind that this is not gonna be a prompt that will last forever. It will only be available if you were disconnected for about 15 minutes or so. So you can't just be like, okay, I'm gonna do this dungeon at 2 a.m. in the morning, disconnect at 4 a.m. and then come back and do it at 7 a.m. It's not gonna work. Now, I've tested this with Albin runs, and it also works with Albin runs. So yes, you guys don't have to worry about disconnecting from Albin runs. You can go back in. It works. Now, the unfortunate thing, though, is that it does not seem to work for shadow missions. So yeah, that's the only downside. Another thing that they've added is the fact that Turo, the one goblin that always keeps breaking, now sells age potions as well as pet age potions. Now these are kind of expensive, guys. They're like 100k for like a pet potion and 400k for a human potion. But hey, if you guys like your characters to be tiny or your pet to be tiny, I mean, who wouldn't want to have a tiny little pet fighting with you, right? They're so mad adorable. Another thing that they've changed is the fact that now passes have been consolidated. So if you guys have passes for like int for 1 or 2 or 4, those are now gone. They're basically one type of pass now. Also, if you log in, you will notice that you'll get a dungeon pass box, and it basically gives you a random pass. That's all it is. Freebie pass for you guys. Last but not least, there are now different difficulties for certain dungeons. So, for example, Coil now has basic and intermediate difficulties, and there's a lot more if you guys check the website. Alright, but now back to the event. After you guys complete a dungeon and you return back to the researcher, he'll basically give you a scouting report. You can use these reports to redeem them for some prizes that he sells in his shop. Now if you take a look at his shop, he has quite a bit of few things. You got those, seals for training. You got some red and blue upgrade stones for ranking up your gears. And you've got some AP potions. And of course, you got a Homestead P-Rock. Woo! P-Rock. I don't know how this looks like yet. It's going to take me quite a few days to collect. Now this item here, though, is an item that you can obtain from harder difficulty dungeons. It's a craft item that's used to craft that special upgrade stone to get your gear to step 7. Yes, step 7. That is a new thing, guys. We now can go up to step 7 instead of step 6. And that's basically it, guys. That is the Dungeon Revamp and the Dungeon Revamp event. Thanks you guys for watching. Hopefully my video was helpful for you guys. Feel free to leave some comments below if I forgot anything. Help each other out. And like always, guys, stay awesome!